He still had his bun and his little S curl. I wish he would have left that behind with the C19, but he didn't. That's okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. This is your girl Brandy Yvonne here at my channel. Y'all already know we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of our favorite shows. This is Friday night, so y'all should already know. But if you don't know, we are talking Owns Ready to Love. This is season 7. I want to say it's episode 6. I forgot to look at it before I started recording, but it will be correct in the description for y'all. I believe it's called Do You Like Me? Before we get into anything, y'all, please hit that thumbs up button if you like this video. Please subscribe. Don't forget to comment, share below, or share the video, I'm sorry. Also, happy Black History Month. I feel like I forgot to say that in the first few videos I've done for this month. So happy Black History Month to all of y'all. You got a fun Black History Month fact that may be unpopular, one we don't know. Like, you know, we all know about Martin Luther King Jr. We all know about Malcolm X, you know, about George Washington Carver. But you got something that people don't know about. Maybe that's kind of rare, or people don't always know, like some inventors or something. Drop it in the comments and I can share it on the next video. I think that would be fun. Like I said, it is Black History Month, so support a Black YouTube channel, right? By hitting that subscribe and that thumbs up. I appreciate y'all's support so much. Y'all don't know how much it truly means to me as I grow my channel. This episode Ready to Love was giving, but it wasn't really giving, but it was giving. Next week looks like it's gonna give it all they got though. Let's just start out with the beginning, y'all. So the men all meet up in Tommy's lounge. And so he said, you know, he heard about the after party from the Miami yacht party. And so he said this week he wants the men focus on their number one deepest connections and really try to pull back those layers, spend more one-on-one time with your top connections. Like, you know, he want him to start focusing in more, right? He let us know, I think at the end of the episode, that they were at the halfway point at this point. So anyway, he did not, however, say the men had control this weekend. Tony noticed that and put it in his confessions that usually, you know, Tommy would say the gentlemen have control this weekend. He didn't say that, so they're kind of nervous because Tommy did say they would have a group dinner at the end of the week, and they already know Tommy be throwing in the curveball, so they don't know, you know, what's really gonna happen like that. So then we see a first group date with Blake, Anthony, and Lyndon, and we also have Mercedes, Cynthia, and SuAnne. So they go to, like, I don't know the name of the place in Miami, but it's like an adult, well, I don't know if it's per se for adults only, but it's this big, like, park. They got big equipment there, obstacle course. They got Jenga. It looked like an adult park to me, but who knows? Anyway, they go to do the obstacle course. They all got the athletic gear on, except for SuAnne got more of her like cookout gear on. But anyway, so they start doing the obstacle course. Cynthia rushing Lyndon, talking about, oh, you ain't gonna be on my team, you too slow, Lyndon. And Lyndon said in the confessional that Cynthia was talking mad trash and she was the worst one there. She wasn't even doing nothing, you know, he was joking around. And so they trying to do the obstacle course. Blake taking it seriously because y'all know he was in the army. And so then I don't know what happened or how, but next thing we know, they put out some water guns. They start having a water gun fight on the obstacle course. They playing. Blake said, you know, next thing he know, these water guns came out. No one was taking it seriously. No one was even doing obstacle course. But, you know, everyone's like inner child came out and they had fun. So he probably was a little bothered by that, but looked like he enjoyed himself. I thought it was kind of fun seeing them let loose and bring out their, you know, inner kid side, inner child side, and have fun and do the water gun fight. That's what I haven't done in a long time, so that would have been fun to me. Let me know if y'all would have enjoyed that obstacle course / water gun fight down in the comments. So then we see, you know, different people playing games together. Looks like Lyndon sat aside with SuAnne, And Lyndon was like, oh, I haven't really talked to you. And so SuAnne was like, well, you don't be hitting my line and you got my number. So Lyndon, this is like the second or third person we didn't heard that you don't be hitting a line, Lyndon. So Lyndon was like, well, I wasn't hitting before, but now I'll be calling you, but you don't be calling me back. So, but it's too late, Lyndon. It's too late with SuAnne because she already got her eyes fixed on Blake. So she was like, well, yeah, like now that you got my, like, you hit me up, like what's going on? And so Lyndon said, he tried to figure out the connection with SuAnne. I think he said it was kind of surface level or something. I mean, that would never work. So we ain't even bothered by that. He was like, okay, well, next time I hit you, you're going to answer, right? She was like, playing around like she'll be waiting by the phone. She ain't interested in you, Lyndon. Bye. Then we see Lyndon spend one-on-one time with Mercedes. So Lyndon is just, child. He is trying, but he's swinging and missing, y'all. Except for with Morgan, we gonna get to that. So he sits down with Mercedes. Mercedes was hot. She was worried about her hair sweating out. I said, what happened to her braids? Anyway, so they sit down and they talk about how they have a good connection. They always laugh and talk, have a good time together. They vibe, but he's not sure. And so she was saying how he has a lot of girls that like him. He has a lot of connections. And he was saying, we have a good time together. We're really, loose around each other. We're happy around each other. We have fun. And I'm trying to see what's up. I'm trying to see. So he just flat out said, did you like me? It was just kind of awkward the way he said it. And so then she was like, ooh, yikes. And so she was like, well, I see you around the other ladies that you have connections with, and you don't act like that around me. So I'm feeling more of a friend vibe with you. We already knew that was what she was going to say. And so he basically got friends on by Mercedes. Sorry, Lyndon. Then we see Cynthia and Anthony playing Jenga, the big block Jenga. We see other people playing games and stuff. And then we see Blake and Susu spend some one-on-one time together, right? So they sitting like at these benches or wherever they were sitting. So Blake was asking SuAnne, so like, what are you looking for? What's up? And so she was like, you don't already know? You don't remember? I told you. And he's like, no, I don't remember. So she's like looking for someone with strong back. So she's all getting up and touching his back. And she's like, okay, that's there, a strong mind and a kind heart. And I was like, that ain't Blake. And SuAnne was getting up and doing all this moving. And I wanted to be like, SuAnne, sit down. You getting on my nerves. Sit down. It's like a little girl. Please sit down. So then he was like, oh, I see you around the other men you have connections with. And they say you rah, like you chatty Cathy, like you be talking. But then around me, you don't really open up like that. And what's that about? She was like, well, what about you? What about your other connections? Like, what about what you got going on? And he was saying like, that's been one of my fears. It's been, harder to open up with the other ladies, but with you, it's so natural, so easy. And then SuAnne, next thing I know, SuAnne then jumped over there where he was sitting like down there on the man's lap. And so then she was like, okay, yeah, mm-hmm. And then he was like, oh, so I feel like you came over here for a reason, right? And she's like, oh, what reason would that be? And then they kissed. And then he was like, okay, so you like me for real, like me. And then she was like, mm-hmm. And then I think they kissed again. And then in the confessional, this heifer gonna say, oh my God, I got me like a real boyfriend for real now. So I guess, me and Blake can continue in this process together. Girl, that man did not say he wanted to be your boyfriend. That's not what we heard on the screen. Now, unless they chopped and screwed the editing and we missed something. That man did not say he wanted to be your boyfriend, girl. Stop it. All he did was kiss you. Ooh, child. SuAnne lost in delusional land. I hope it works out for her. I'm worried about this reunion. When it comes to Blake and SuAnne, y'all, I am worried about this reunion. How it's all going to pan out for them. But wish them the best. It's looking like Blake might actually get eliminated next week, though. So we gonna see if SuAnne gonna leave when he leave, like he asked her to. Come on, Sue. He gave you the call, girl. So anyway, so they hit it off. SuAnne is just, she's in love. Nah, she didn't say that, but she about to be. So then, let's see, we see another date with, let's go on to, Jefri and Blue's date, right? So they went to some place, and so Jefri was, talking about her kids. Well, Blue was asking how she's doing. She said her kids are spoiled, and one of them was mad because he couldn't have toast with his oatmeal, the 5-year-old. Y'all know how kids be doing. And so then she's saying how, he'll get to see his kids soon. And he's like, oh, yeah, he'll be flying back this way. And he gets to travel more than me. I'm jealous. And Jefri is saying, like, oh, based on your vision board, like, he'll be traveling with you everywhere anyway. And so Blue was saying, the assignment basically was to get deeper. So he was asking her, let's go deeper. What do you really want, and what's up, and all this. And so she was saying how she feels like Blue never put pressure on her, but then at the same time she basically wants him to show her he's interested. Like, she wants all the smoke. Is it Blue smoke? Like, she wants him to apply a little bit of pressure, basically. And so then he was like, okay, like, duly noted. So then he got up and moved his seat next to hers and held her hand, and she was saying how they were looking at a family of ducks, and how there was no father there. And then she's like, oh, they got to go through, we go through, and it's just hard. And, Blue was saying, well, usually the women are the stronger ones anyway. And so she was like, I'm tired of being strong. And so he was like, I got your back. And so, Jefri feeling like she gonna have her another baby daddy or stepdaddy to them kids, because that's what she's looking for. So Blue, she's feeling like, she have a connection with Mark Anthony, but, Blue is really showing up with the presents. I would just be careful, Blue. I feel like she would throw Blue away from Mark Anthony in a heartbeat. I don't put it past her. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I honestly don't see a genuine connection between Jefri and Blue. To me, that doesn't feel like a match. I don't think Mark Anthony is a good connection for Jefri either. I don't know. Mark Anthony, something about him giving me Playboy vibes. Is it just me, y'all? Anyway, so they walked away holding it. He's like, give me your hand, young lady. I was just like, oh, Blue, you're giving her older father. But anyway, then let's see. We have another date with Tony and Marcia. And then I think around the same time they were showing us a date between Morgan and Lyndon. So let's talk about Tony and Marcia first, though. So Tony and Marcia meet down to the smoothie shop. Tony ordered him a smoothie. I can't take Tony seriously at all. Sorry, Tony. I mean, the muscles are nice to look at, but when you talk, you just sound stupid. I'm sorry. Anyway, so Marcia came. He was like, oh, our first date was really fun. And he told how he torn because, he torn between Marcia and Morgan. He don't really know. And so, but this first date was Marcia. This date was not with Morgan. Interesting. So anyway, he was like, our first date, you didn't really eat on a date like that. Like, I like to eat. Like, what's up? So she laughing. Marcia feels like she's there for a good time and not a long time. I don't mean no shade to her like that. I just mean like I don't see her genuinely connecting with anybody on the show. That's my thing for Marcia. Anyway, so they're talking, and he was saying like, we're supposed to have deeper connection, try to open up. And she was saying how it takes her a little bit more time to open up because she is scared. She wants to feel safe. And she also in the confessional, she likes Tony a lot. They really connect, but she doesn't, know if she can really trust him. And that's what's kind of hesitating her to open up. And you're right. Go with your gut, Marcia. Do not trust Tony. I think she sees the BS in Tony, and she's just kind of going through the motions and being nice. So she was telling him how she needs to feel safe, and he asked her, what does she need to feel safe with him? And she let him know, well, like, you never put pressure on me, you never objectified me, even from the beginning, and all this stuff. And he's like, I just want to know, going forward, so then when I'm with you, I know how to make you feel safe. And I think he did bring up his other connection with Morgan, and then she was like, order in the court, and he's like, yeah, you know, there's you, and then there's Morgan, and so she basically like put it in order. He didn't put it in order. He's like, you know, when I decide and make that decision, you know, you'll know, but right now it's like, it's you and it's Morgan. You just saying a bunch of nothing, Tony. Goodbye. So then across town, right, we got the date with Miss Morgan in her yellow and white dress, and Lyndon came with his hoochie daddy shorts on. Now, what he was wearing from the waist up was cool, but then them hoochie daddy shorts and them tennis shoes, I was over it. And I know, you know, Randall was doing it all last season, and we was getting tired of it, and I'm tired of it with Lyndon. Now, Lyndon, first of all, I don't see it for Lyndon on this show. After Corvette uncovered that he got the whole roommate thing, and then his little bartender management job, I'm not knocking the job, because a job is a job, and we all got to pay bills up in here. And eggs is high, so I ain't knocking the job. However, the roommate thing, he was impressed to get a new place. All that coupled with them hoochie daddy shorts and the way he be dressing, that frat boy energy vibe he gives me, it's a no for me. And I was looking at Lyndon real good in his face today. And he cute in the face, actually. Like, something in his eyes is cute. Like, I would be attracted to him. But it's just, all the other stuff just kind of throws it away. Like, if he would dress more age appropriately, he would win some points with me. Like, Morgan, girl, I don't see what you're seeing because you're like this classy lady. And I'm not getting classy vibe from Lyndon, so it's just not adding up. Not that Tony's so much more classier, but at least he dresses age. So I don't know. How old is Lyndon? Y'all put it in the comments for me, y'all. How old is Lyndon? Yeah, I feel like Lyndon he gonna catch some stray bullets. He gonna walk away empty-handed on the show. I'm sorry, Lyndon. Anyway, Morgan was saying how they have a good time, and she was saying how, like, you know, she feels so safe with him and secure, and he's easy to talk to. Like, there's not a good men that she connected with. Now it's only down to 2, and then it's gonna be 1. And she might have said that later on the episode, but anyway, she kind of said it there too. And so somehow they bring up Tony. This is why I was irritated with Tony bringing up Morgan on his date, and then so she's bringing up Tony, she's calling him Tony the Tiger, and maybe she don't take him that seriously, I don't know. But then in the other episode, she was talking about she's smitten with him, so I don't know. Is Morgan playing a game? Y'all let me know in the comments. I don't know Morgan's angle at this point, because I don't see it for Lyndon, and I sure don't see it for Tony. So she was saying Tony how much she likes him, and saying he got his other connections as well, and you know, Lyndon said, you know, Tony is his guy, but, you know, he's over here with Morgan. No disrespect to him, but that's what it is. And so she was she also liked his hoochie daddy shorts. She was like, you really, you know, be vibing them hoochie daddy shorts. You looking good. You need to teach a class on how to do the hoochie daddy shorts. He said he's been doing the hoochie daddy shorts for the last 3 years. I get it, they in Miami. I'm just... When you come to a date, you don't need to wear your hoochie daddy shorts. Like, wear those around the house for me, but not on a date. But anywho, they was just talking about how they really get along, y'all, and she just feels so great with him. But she didn't say, you know, she's gonna settle for him or nothing. So watch your back, Lyndon. Then we get another group date which just to me made no sense, y'all. But this is what we doing on Ready to Love. We get a group date with Johnny and Mark Anthony, Jefri, and Tony. Mark Anthony said he really wanted to go on a date with Jefri. They've been connecting. He invited Tony because he needed a wingman. And he hasn't got to spend a lot of time with Johnny to get to know her, so he invited Johnny. I like Johnny's outfit. And I like her confessional outfit with that, I looked up the name of that print, and I still can't think of the name of it. But that brown and black kind of plaid print, I like that. So anyway... Mark Anthony and Jefri are like making googly eyes at each other, and you know, Mark Anthony is telling Jefri how he likes her in that white and how they wore the same color, and maybe they met up before this and all this stuff. And so Jefri was saying how she could have her guard up sometime, and she is unsure because she doesn't want things to be like they have been in the past. Like she had to give birth alone. She had to do all this stuff. She went through so much with her past and the men, and she's just trying to not expect everything to be now, like give everything a chance and not expect it to be how it was in the past with the men, I guess, that did her dirty. I'm thinking the baby daddies. Maybe it's one baby daddy. Jefri got 1, 2, or 3 baby daddies. I know she got 3 kids. Who knows? Anyway, maybe she only got 1 baby daddy though. Apparently he was not in the picture like he should have been though. And so they got on the topic of expectations and what they were looking for. Tony said he's ready to settle down, get married, had that white picket fence and everything. And they were like, oh, Tony. And so, Jonique said she came in not having any expectations. She just tried to come to the process being open-minded, because when you have expectations and they don't get mad, and y'all know how that goes. And so then, oh, sorry, y'all, my clothes is done in the dryer. So anyway, Mark Anthony wasn't really understanding what she was saying. He was like, oh, so you came in not having, like, so you did have expectations? And she was like, no, I didn't have expectations, because she just kind of wanted to keep an open mind to the process. And so Mark Anthony said, you know, he got to learn a lot about Jonique, but he's not vibing with her like that. But she did open up, because Jonique was also telling us that she's looking for an alpha male. So I'm tired of hearing that saying. And, you know, a man that, you know, stands up for his family, puts his family and her first and above everything else except for God, and is really there, but then he don't gotta like say he's an alpha man. He just exudes it, you know, he just shows it naturally. He ain't gotta do all the extra stuff. I feel you, Jonique. We all want that man. Where he at? Where he at? So Tony was like, okay, I'm getting, you put that rug, you know, you presented that so well, you spoke very well on that. Like, I don't know, that little comment he made, she spoke very well, kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, we know Jonique's a little bit around the way, girl, but don't do her like that. Don't do her like that. And I like Jonique, but Jonique, your man is not on this show, girl. He is not. And neither is Marcia's. And I really don't think Morgan's man is on this show. I think Mercedes and Mark Anthony, I could see that working out maybe. I could see Anthony and Cynthia working out. But that might get ruined because Andre then came back, and we finna get to that, y'all. So anyway, Tony's like, yeah, I like what I hear, as they all walked away. I was like, oh my gosh. Tony being with Jonique gives me Predator vibes. Is that just me? So anyway, then we get down to the dinner date that Tommy planned for basically everybody to air each other out and make drama on the show. But here we go. So Tom, you know, they came in, they all taking shots before Tommy came through. And we see SuAnne sit down with Anthony. And so she's like, oh, you know, how's it going? What's going on? And he said, you know, he just trying to take his time, enjoy the process, see who's for him. You know, it's a lot of girls trying to see who's really for him, see who's not. And she was just kind of getting irritated with him. And she was like, you know, on the boat at the Hard Rock, you know, I'm supposed to get turned up, Anthony, but then right here you give me a different vibe, and I don't really understand. So she's not really like what Anthony is saying. And he was like letting her know, well, I appreciate you, like, you good. But I think he just don't like you, SuAnne. Sorry, girl. We also see Lyndon and Morgan vibing in the corner. Then Tony, well, first of all, Lyndon said they just naturally gravitate to each other every time they in the room together. They was talking about everything going on and how the connections got to get serious now. And then Tony, his confessional was like, oh, I could see Lyndon and Morgan over there. You know, Morgan buttering Lyndon up and making him feel good, thinking he got a chance when I'm here. I'm like, oh my gosh, Tony. I thought this was going to be the episode where he, you know, started showing out, but maybe it's going to be next week. We're going to see. I think, it might be on the trip. Because I wonder where they're going to go on the trip. Their little getaway. I think that's when we really going to get into it. So then Tommy comes in and they do their round of applause, y'all. And so then he said, you know, first of all, I got some news. Andre, you know, he C19 free. He good to go. He said he regretted leaving the process. He had second thoughts. So he did, you know, express that he wanted to come back. So then he asked the group, you know, would they be cool if he came back or not? They said they was cool with it, but like, well, they would be a-holes, right, if they said, no, we don't want it back. I think Blue said that was really, not fair, but he said, you know what, I already, making my connection, so bring it on. Like, Blue ready for the competition now. Jefri didn't awaken Blue's spirit. Come on. So I'm here for Blue. So then Jefri was like, oh my God, my mind went blank because, I didn't connect it with Mark Anthony and Blue, and now Andre came back, and I missed Andre so much. Cynthia's like, oh my gosh, Andre's coming back. I'm so happy. I'm like, Lord, Cynthia, you giving Andre too much. But you know what? Andre really consoled her on that date, so I'm going to give him his brownie points for that. So, Nephew Tommy then calls Andre. And I already knew he was already at the door when he called him. I was like, why are we doing this production? Why are we doing this song and dance? Now, last season, Looney left with the C-19 and came right back. There was no question of it. Okay, now why are we doing this? Like, oh, Andre left, he ain't coming back. Oh, but now you want to come back. Like, it just seems so production made. Was it just me, or did it seem like production made this all happen? Like, granted, he probably did have a C-19, but I'm pretty sure he wanted to stay in the show regardless. So I don't think that was a question, the way they're making it play out now. So he called him down to the FaceTime, was like, hey, everybody said you can come back, you want to come back, you here. And so then he come to the door, they're like, they give him this big old round of applause. He came with this light baby pink jacket on. I thought it was white. Anywho, he still had his bun and his little S curl. I wish he would have left that behind with the C-19, but he didn't. That's okay. So anyway, they seem happy to see him. And so Tommy said, he wanted to take this moment to have his eyes on y'all. He want to make sure y'all not showing up with y'all representatives and showing up with the real you. He want everybody to just air out any grievances, anything they got to say, say who's your, who is it not really working with. And he said at the end of this dinner, one man and one woman is going home. I'm so happy about that. I did not want, it just be a ladies' elimination or just a man's elimination. I wanted a man and a woman to go home. So I was happy Tommy said that. Granted, at the episode, nobody went home, so whatever. But maybe next week, though, skedaddle. So he's like, what's here from you, Andre? You ain't been here in a minute. So Andre said, he was gone for a minute. Some people kept in contact with him, checked up on him, but the one person he was disappointed in, didn't check on him, was Mercedes. And he didn't understand why. He thought they was better than that. He thought they had a true connection. So she said, and he's like, maybe that's just who you are. That's how you are. But, I thought you would have checked on me. And so she was like, if you felt that way, my bad. That's not my character, though. She was basically saying, like, don't say, like, that's my character, because that's not what it is. And so then Tommy talking about, we got to be able to take constructive criticism. Tommy, tell the men that. Tell Blake that. Don't tell Mercedes that. That irritated me. So then, who else did we hear from? I think we heard from Marcia, right? And she said she had a hard time connecting with Anthony. She's able to connect with him outside of the process, but within the process is hard. Somebody else had an issue with Anthony. I want to say it was either SuAnne or Jefri. And then I think it was somebody else. And then Cynthia finally spoke up and said, Anthony is very nice. He's very intentional. He's here looking for love. Like, Cynthia ain't had no problem with Anthony. I think Anthony just don't like y'all, and he's too nice to tell y'all. That's probably what it is. So, Cynthia said her issue is with Mark Anthony. He seems like he's too young. She not really sure if he's here looking for love. I feel like Marcia or Jarnique or somebody else said something about Mark Anthony, and another lady said something about Mark Anthony. Mark Anthony was like, "Oh, the ladies had me down to the hot seat. It was too much." Let's see. Somebody talked about what lady was it? It was SuAnne. Then they got into SuAnne. And then Andre even said something about SuAnne. And I was like, Andre, you been gone. So what's happening, sir? I want to say Blue or somebody else said something about SuAnne. So then they all got on SuAnne, which SuAnne lightly deserved it. No shade to you, girl. And so then Blake said, SuAnne is a wonderful person. SuAnne is da-da-da-da-da. So Blake at least did stand up for SuAnne in that moment. Okay, I said, okay, I'm going to give him 2 points for that. So then he brought up the issue with Jefri. So we get down to this. So he said, the person that, I've been having an issue with is Jefri. She said I said these things that I already made a connection, and that conversation didn't happen. So Nephew Tommy's like, Jefri, what do you have to say? She said, bless his heart. Bless his heart. And so she said, she began to explain what Blake said, that he said that, he was always checking on me. Who was I going out with? That he hated having to do the process and say nice things to the other ladies because he already found his person. He was like, that conversation never happened. And so then, I don't know if SuAnne piped up or Jefri brought SuAnne into the fold because she was like, why we added SuAnne, she's always saying things. Every time I pipe up, she want to pipe up. And so SuAnne and that flowing wig was like, girl, like, I'm not worried about you and your connections. Like, it's not even like that. You doing too much. And so then Jefri and SuAnne was going back and forth. Lyndon said he didn't know about all the drama and the tea, and he loved Blake, but he feel like Jeffrey's being genuine. And she is. Now, granted, Jefri is a little off, in my opinion, as well. But I do believe Blake said those things because he's kind of doing the same thing with SuAnne. And so, because look at SuAnne now is hooked. So Jefri just peeped game, and Jeffrey's still trying to do the process, and SuAnne don't really have any other connections. That's the difference. So then Jefri and SuAnne was going back and forth, and she was like, okay, advocate Sue. And so then she was like, that's the other thing, like, you need to stop talking about me as well. Blake was like, just please, like, stop bringing me up, stop doing this. And she was like, yes, and please stop bringing me up too as well. Please don't bring me up anymore either. And it's like, SuAnne, girl, nobody was bringing you up. You were inserting yourself, mama. You were inserting yourself. So SuAnne is in delusional land, I told y'all. So then, she was like, I'm over here at the kids' table, like, don't talk to me. Like, she just wanted the last word. Jeffrey just was looking crazy. And so that was just a mess. It was a mess. So then Nephew Tommy was like, we feeling good. All minds is clear. That was pretty much it. And so next week, we're going to see Andre confront Mr. Not Mr. Andre's going to confront Mercedes and why she didn't check on him. Morgan's about to assassinate Blake, and that's the moment I've been waiting for. And I know y'all been waiting for it. Anyway, y'all, that was pretty much it. I mean, like I said, it was giving, but it really wasn't giving at all. But we getting somewhere, y'all. Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I will talk to y'all probably tomorrow or Sunday at the latest about Love and Marriage DC. Y'all, please stay safe out there. All right? Bye.